NBA buyout season is among us, and we have to talk about some guys that the New York Knicks can target for their team for this playoff stretch. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into the video as we always do, because the New York Knicks have a ton of open roster spots, and with a ton of injuries right now, and just, again, open roster spots in general, because they've traded a bunch of players this season, they need to find some guys in the buyout market to sign. And let's just jump in and look at it right now. Using an article from The Athletic, we're going to sort of go through this. And among playoff hopefuls, the Celtics, Bulls, who are not a playoff hopeful, they're not going anywhere. The Cavs, the Dallas Mavericks, the Lakers, the Heat, the Bucks, the Pacers, and the Kings all have an open roster spot. The Warriors, Pelicans, Thunder, and Timberwolves had two, given the Thunder have now signed Bismack Biyombo. And the Knicks and 76ers have three, except the 76ers now have two because of the Kyle Lowry deal. So look, the Knicks have three open roster spots. That's the most of any team right now that has any hope to make the playoffs. And obviously, the Knicks' hopes stretch far beyond the playoffs. The Knicks are hoping to get to the Eastern Conference Finals this season, if not the NBA Finals. As Kendrick Perkins said, they're as deep as the Pacific Ocean, and you better get the rest of the Eastern Conference some life jackets. Look, the Knicks have 9 guys who can all start on a championship team. In Jalen Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, I'm going the full team, fully healthy. Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Josh Hart, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Alec Burks, all of whom can start on an NBA Finals team. Maybe Josh Hart's a little unclear, but probably can start on a championship team. And here's the deal. That means that whoever the Knicks sign in the buyout market is not going to get long-term minutes, assuming the team can get healthy for the playoffs. And if they can, that is going to be a hard sell on some guys, especially veterans, like the one who I want most of all, Thaddeus Young. Now, Young was waived by the Brooklyn Nets after the trade they made where Dennis Schroeder went to Brooklyn and with Thaddeus Young, and Spencer Dinwiddie went to the Toronto Raptors, who obviously waived him instantly, and now Dinwiddie is a Laker. Now, Young started several games for the Raptors recently because Pirtle got injured, and he can still make an impact from the elbows because he's got a great passing ability, and as they put here, a weird array of running flips and floaters. Also, he's a great mid-range shooter. He's only 6'8" and can't protect the rim anymore as he's not the athlete he used to be, but he's still an active, handsy defender who had an above-league average 16.0 PER in his limited run this season. He's a weird, funky player who doesn't fit everywhere, but at 35, he can still play. Look, I'm not saying I want the Knicks to sign Thaddeus Young and use him heavily come playoffs, but he is a real option to have. Especially for right now, because the Knicks are playing Taj Gibson a lot of minutes, and we are going to get more into Taj later in this video. As though the Knicks do have 13 open roster spots, they're almost certainly going to use one of them on Taj Gibson just to keep Taj on the team. He's been with the Knicks for a while now. He's very close with Tom Thibodeau. He's close with most of the roster at this point because he's been here really since 2019. Except for that 1 year where he took a detour with the Washington Wizards and basically played 40 games with them and got cut from the team or something. I don't really know. I was shocked that Taj didn't retire after that. But hey, good for Taj. He's back. He's doing his thing. And his thing really should be chilling on the bench and being a vet. But he's had to play in recent weeks because the Knicks' entire team has gotten injured, which has just been wonderful to watch because it's the first time we've ever been good at this sport. But now Taj is playing minutes, and Taj is 6'9". Thaddeus Young is 6'8". Thaddeus Young is much better than Taj Gibson is right now. For the majority of Thaddeus Young's career, he was someone who you knew was going to be a hard-nosed defender who's a really good guy to have on your bench, or as a starting power forward with some teams, especially back in the day. And he was going to get you around 12 to 16 points per game a night for a season, which obviously was great. Now, Young spent his first 7 seasons on the Philadelphia 76ers before bouncing around from teams like the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Indiana Pacers, Chicago Bulls, San Antonio Spurs, then most recently the Toronto Raptors. And I am curious to see what is going to happen with Young because he is a valuable player, and I would love for the Knicks to bring him in, but he would only really get minutes for the next month at most or so because eventually the Knicks are probably going to get healthy. Isaiah Hartenstein's probably going to come back in the pretty near future, and that's already going to hamper his minutes, but the Knicks still could use another big body for now. Once Randall's back, once they have basically the full team, Mitchell Robinson maybe even not. I mean, the Knicks still do have Precious. They have Jericho Sims. They wouldn't desperately need Thaddeus Young. But Young could also be a good vet to have for a guy like Jericho Sims, who's the same height, and kind of similar defensively, where it's like, look, and I'm talking prime Thaddeus Young, not Thaddeus Young right now, where Young was an elite athlete and very strong, So he was able to protect the rim well, even though he was a shorter player for a big man, especially back in the day. Now 6'9" is not even that crazy. You hardly ever see a 7'2" NBA center anymore. I mean, outside of Porzingis, who's 7'3", and Joel Embiid, who's 7'1", and Jokic, who's like 6'11". There's not too many huge centers in the. I guess Wembanyama was the first overall pick this year, and he is 7'4". But, the Spurs suck right now, so that doesn't matter, especially because they're in the Western Conference, so we're going to pretend like Victor Wembanyama doesn't exist for the sake of this argument. Essentially what I'm saying is you could be 6'9", play center nowadays, where back then, if you were 6'8", you were going to play small forward or maybe power forward, but you'd be looked at as a small power forward at 6'8". The way the world changes, because people keep getting taller in life, but for some reason, NBA power forwards just keep getting shorter. We got 6'6" guys out there who are just pure sharpshooters, and that's the entire power forward position now because the NBA really is positionless fully at this point, thanks to Wardell, Stephen Curry. Now, Thaddeus Young this season is averaging his lowest points per game of, his career. He averaged 6 points per game in his rookie year every other year of his life. Thaddeus Charles Young has averaged in the double digits. He's still shooting 62% from the field, though. His PER is above league average at 16.1, which we've talked about a little bit. The Knicks need him for 15 minutes a night for the next month. And I would love for them to be able to do this. I just don't see if you could sell Thaddeus Young on this. But hey, at the end of the day, Patrick Johnson might just do it as he would get to join a team that could potentially, at the end of the day, win the NBA Finals. And that would be awesome. But there's obviously a good chance that Young finds somewhere where he could play real minutes and he'll just prioritize that. Whether it's a team that has as good of a chance to win the Finals as the Knicks, maybe it's a better chance for, I don't know, someone like the Phoenix Suns who could definitely use him. And yeah, he's probably going to sign with the Suns. But whatever. We can still go for him. We could try to get him. We could see what happens. But we move on as there are more guys to talk about, such as former Knick Danilo Gallinari, who, as they said, is the walking definition of toast on defense. And then they call him a 6'10" stretch 5. That's kind of weird considering that Danilo Gallinari has never once played center in his career. He's been a shooting guard, small forward, and a power forward. He's never been a center, and he never will be because it's just not his type of play. But Gallinari still provides enough stretchability and individual scoring with second units to make him valuable in the right situation. Then also I put Taj Gibson in here just because he was listed right below him. And the Knicks have 3 open roster spots. Need another big. With Robinson injured, you can get your Tibbs smiling GIF ready. Obviously, Taj is on the team right now, and I do believe he is going to get I almost said a max deal. Taj is, you know what I mean. He's going to get a contract that's guaranteed for the rest of the season. I think we should give Taj a max deal to be a coach for the team. And the reason I think that is because Taj Gibson is done, dude. He is cooked. When he's been out there these last 3 games, someone's going to take that max thing seriously, too. Wow. If you do, stop. Stop it. Get some help, as Michael Jordan might say. But if we're looking at it, Taj Gibson is done, dude. These last 3 games, he's played an average of 20 minutes. He scored 2 points and gotten like 5 rebounds over that span. And the man looks like he's going to collapse on the court. Like, it's really bad. He cannot be playing anymore. They have to tell this man to stop and be like, look, you can hang out on the team. You can be our version of Udonis Haslem. But, dude, you are done. You can't move, dude. You're really, really just immobile at this point. And that's fine, because Taj is 38 years old, and there's only one LeBron James who is really just outrunning the clock, unlike no one ever has. And Taj Gibson, for the majority of his career, has averaged under 10 points per game anyway. So it's not like Taj is some superstar. They're keeping him around for vibes purposes. He cannot be on the court. It is a liability for the New York Knicks to have him on the court, despite the fact that he is the opposite of a liability to have at the end of the bench, just being an extension of the coaching staff, especially since Ryan Arcidiacono is not going to play for the Knicks until around August when they sign him again or something, because obviously Arcidiacono has one team interested in him in the NBA, and that is the New York Knicks. We love him on the bench. He's what Theo Pinson was for a while, except now it's just the Nova Knicks, and with that, Arcidiacono is our guy. I would like the idea of Danilo Gallinari to a degree, but again, I just don't see where he fits. He's just like the worst version of Bojan Bogdanovic for the Knicks, so Gallinari can go sign somewhere else, but I figured it'd be cool to mention, because it would be cool if we watched his career end with him coming full circle. Obviously, being off his second ACL tear, things are probably looking bleak for Danilo. Though he'll get on a team for sure. He shoots the ball too well, and he's 6'10". That's enough to get you on a roster for a little bit more. Though I am kind of bummed out that it won't be with the Knicks. We don't need him. Look, but back to Taj, because this, I'll be honest, is my motivation for this video, is that the Knicks need a different center for right now, because Taj is not that guy. You're not that guy, pal, anymore. Taj is averaging 1.1 points per game in his 14 games played this year with 2 rebounds and 0.5 assists. He's shooting 31.8% from the field, which is obviously by far the lowest of his career. He's 1 for 1 on his free throws this year, so that's cool, or 2 for 2. I don't really know. I didn't check his totals on Basketball Reference because I saw these numbers and was like, oh God, Taj, please, please, just become a coach already. The second Taj Gibson retires, he's gonna sign to the Knicks coaching staff. Let's wrap it up, bro. Because we can't have you playing anymore. It's just... It sucks because he was the biggest superstar the Knicks signed in 2019 when KD and Kyrie went to the Brooklyn Nets. The Knicks got Taj Gibson, Bobby Portis, and Julius Randle, and Elfrid Payton. Shout out KnicksFan63 on Twitter. And it's really gotten to the point where there's no need for Taj Gibson to be playing basketball for the New York Knicks. We're too good of a team to have this. It's not a good look. We're a great team. We're realistically contending for the NBA Finals, even though it's an outside shot. And Taj Gibson is still sitting on the... playing. He played the last 3 games. He might play tonight. We have to stop. Just sign someone, please, for 3 minutes a night. Let Precious Achiuwa play the whole game or something. We cannot have Taj Gibson on the court. He's unfortunately become way too much of a liability for any excuse for this man to still be in the NBA. On the court, again, that is. I'm fine with Taj sticking around with the Knicks and being on their bench. I actually kind of hope he does stick around and stays on the bench for at least the rest of this year and then calls it a career and then joins the Knicks bench as a coach because I think that would be absolutely awesome. Now, if you look at Taj, as I said, it's career lows across the board. It's over. It's as the kids might say nowadays, it's Jover. I just said that on YouTube. Nice. Wow, people are not going to know what that means. But to really just round things out here are some other options that the Knicks can sign. Obviously, the buyout market is not great. And one of the reasons why I put this is because of the existence of Mr. Fort Knox himself. Look, PJ Tucker, he's not going to get moved till the summer, though I would love him on the Knicks. I think he would just be a solid addition. But again, the problem is he's going to be pissed off because he's not going to play with the Knicks. They could bring back Rolo for bench depth. I would love that again because he's not Taj Gibson. And that's the whole thing. He's just not Taj. And I don't want this to be an anti-Taj video. I want it to be a pro-Taj as a coach video. So, along with, talking about the buyouts or whatever. But yeah, Robin Lopez could be a guy the Knicks could look at. Furkan Korkmaz is done in the NBA. Kevin Knox, it's over, bro. It's over. The next KD, I guess not. And then Joe Harris, who got that ankle surgery and has unfortunately looked like he is, well, how do I put this? It looks like he is just Chris Gallagher on the basketball court. And that's not a good thing because no one wants that. So, that all being said, this was a long-ass video, so I'm going to wrap it up real quick and just be like, guys, please sign someone or 2 people and Jacob Toppin. Fully guarantee Jacob Toppin's contract. Keep him around on the team for the next few years. He's playing great basketball. I talked about it in the last video. You can go check that one out now because obviously all you want to do is listen to the Knicks Digest, and because of that, just subscribe to the channel already. I see you looking at me. You think I'm not talking to you? I'm talking to you, dude. Subscribe. Why not? It's going to change your life that much? No, it's going to change my life? Yes, positively. This is a low-risk, high-reward scenario for you because you help out me and nothing happens to you. Except I might send you, if I see that you subscribed, I'll send you a little thank you. I try to do that to you guys because I'm a good person who wants Taj Gibson to stop playing basketball and coach the New York Knicks as an assistant for Tom Thibodeau. Have a great day, guys. And go New York Knicks. Also, why is Thaddeus Young's middle name Charles? I didn't expect that at all.